Look, I need a slim goth. Gerbert too cold like Wim Hof. Wait, she like a persistent waitress the way she's topping me off. I'm financially responsible, I got me a Roth. Wait, they really blew up those towers, then thought we forgot. Nah, I will never forget. I got 13 cougars in a limo getting lit. How did building 7 fall? It don't even make sense. How did they hit the Pentagon? Gerby. Alright, I'm back. This is gonna be a real doozy. Just be warned here, because this is wild. Now, as I've gotten a little bit older, I've really come to appreciate just sitting down, relaxing, and reading a good book. Just getting immersed in the literature, especially as the seasons change. Ooh wee! The leaves are changing colors. A cool wind blows. You're sitting there with a cup of coffee, perhaps a spiced cider, and you're just chilling, vibing, reading a good book. Honestly, it might be the best thing in this life. Might be the most, it's just such a delight, such a delectable pleasure, might be the best. And I have had my fair share, I have had my way with many, and I do mean many, big booty Latinas. You can vibe with a good book until you're old and withered. That other stuff, it runs dry. But not reading. But you know, the thing about these hoes, the thing about these stupid ass is that they took it too far. They've taken what was once a delightful, wholesome way to spend your time, to relax, to enjoy your life, and it has simply been corrupted by these weird-ass bitches. There's no other way to slice it. That's the best way I could phrase it. I'm, of course, referring to modern romance books and their endless subcategories. A lot of people don't understand how truly massive this category of books is. As early as the 90s, over half of mass-market paperback publishings were in the romance genre. If you take a look at the New York Times bestsellers list, it's all a bunch of this female-oriented romance fiction. This genre exploded in popularity when women began entering the workforce en masse. It is such a massive market. These broads can't get enough of it. They just gobble it up. All these new releases. A flight of sparrows and clay. A castle of roses and glass. The dark gargoyle with the big old cock. Whatever comes out, they're buying it. If you're familiar with my channels, you know I'm a big anti-pornography guy. I'm not a fan. I'm a no-fap warrior. But I think it's quite well known the dangers of male goonerism. Lil Tay starts an OnlyFans the day she turns 18, gets $1 million in a few hours. And the types of requests these girls receive, a lot of them are concerning. Guys are in all sorts of weird and often problematic fetishes, or all the rabbit holes they go down on these websites. We know a lot of men are cooked by this stuff. And for a while I held the idea that this was a uniquely male problem. And even though women, they got the 50 Shades of Grey, they're reading all these books, they're gooning to them, it's not that big of a problem because it's not as visual. Maybe something like this. It doesn't fry your brain in the same way as a filmed adult movie. But I've come to the conclusion that women are at least just as cooked as men when it comes to this kind of stuff. When it comes to this modern hypersexuality and gooning, which I find to be very problematic, which I find to be bad. I'm not one of these guys, pornography is good with moderation. It's a control thing. It's bad if you're addicted to it. No. I take the stance. It is objectively bad. It is wrong. While some romance releases are actual literature that could be enjoyed by men and women, not really erotically, but it's romance, which is kind of distinct, and honestly, I would say opposed to erotic, lustful, kind of goon content. Some romance type books are fine. They're innocuous. They could be a good book. But a lot of them are just straight up pornography. I've talked a little bit about this kind of stuff before, but what prompted me to make this video is there was a juicy story I came across last month in August. There was a dark romance convention event called Sinners and Stardust. And what happened at this event, attended mostly by women who are all fans of dark romance novels. Let's just say the unfortunate male attendants of this event did not leave unmolested. But before I get into the gruesome details of that, let me just bring up some examples of dark romance books that are popular. So what we got here is Morning Glory Milking Farm. The MGMF, baby. One of the best written books of all time. Now, let me give you a little synopsis of this. So basically, sweet and steamy monster romance book. #1 bestseller. Of course, Violet is a typical down-on-her-luck millennial. Mid-20s, overeducated, and drowning in debt. Tell me about it, sister. On the verge of moving into her parents' basement when a lifeline appears in the form of a very unconventional job. She has no chance but to grab it with both hands. Morning Glory Farm offers full-time hours, full benefits, dental? Wow. And generous pay with no experience needed. There's only one catch. The clientele is grade A. The clientele is grade A certified prime beef with the manly, meaty endowments to match. No shot. Hands-on work with minotaurs isn't something Violet ever considered as a career option, but she's determined to turn the opportunity into a reversal of fortune. When a stern, deep-voiced client begins to specifically request her for his sessions at the farm, maintaining her professionalism and keeping him out of her dreams is easier said than done. Violet is resolved to make a dent in her student loans and afford name-brand orange juice. And a one-sided crush on an out-of-her-league minotaur is not a part of the plan. Unless her feelings aren't one-sided after all. Oh, this minotaur trying to fuck! Morning Glory Farm is a USA Today best-selling romance novel. You see 20,000 ratings on Amazon. It has 60K on Goodreads reviews, that is. So let's get this straight. This chick starts to work at a farm where she has to jack off man-bull hybrid humanoids, creatures, and they milk them. The context of this book, because I've read it hundreds of times, is actually... No, I haven't read it, but I've looked into it. I'm journalistic. They're trying to make pharmaceuticals out of it or something in the canon. So she goes to this farm. She's got to milk them, right? I haven't read the full story, but if I were a gambling man, I'd say it doesn't end at just the professional milking. She probably sucks off one of these bulls. She probably gets rammed by one of these bulls, right? And this is the type of stuff these broads are reading. This is huge. I will admit this is one of the more cartoonish examples I could have picked out, but it's not a fringe one. This is massive. The chick who wrote this is a millionaire. And it is hard for me to understand. I mean, I guess hypothetically, if there was like a goth girl, squirt station or something, I would probably send in an application. But why do they have to be beasts? All of these books are like this. It's got to be a demon, werewolf, horse. It's just like, why does it have to be the minotaurs of Greek mythology? Like, bro, it's not, these novels aren't just like a normal guy. They're falling in love with a normal guy, not even a normal hot guy. It's got to be a mythical beast. They want to get backshots from ghouls, goblins, creatures, monsters, fantastic beasts, and how to fuck them. It doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't equate. And you're telling me these hoes aren't fried? Are you trying to look me in the eye and telling me these aren't fried and this isn't like shameful or problematic? It's the equivalent. It's just the equivalent of male, hub pornography, OnlyFans, all this stuff. It's the same thing, but that's exactly, it's the woman version because it flies under the radar. Oh, we're just reading books. We're just reading fantasy novels. Oh, that's cute, you'd think. No. This shit is frying their brains. Let me read an excerpt from Milking Farm here. All right, geez. And when the bill arrived, she'd attempted to pull a handful of carefully folded bills from her wristlet before he stopped her. No, that's absolutely not happening. Put that away. She'd not thought about it until the day after their first dinner together, realizing in mortification that she ought to have attempted to pay her half. What kind of feminist are you? That's what she's thinking, right? It's in italics for the listeners. She couldn't remember the last time she'd been out and hadn't paid for her half, including her coffee date with Carson Tinsley, which accounted for how infrequently she went anywhere. She had come prepared that night, several weeks of her tips smooth and tucked into her wristlet. But I didn't even offer to pay half the other night, and I should have. Violet. If the commanding rumble of his voice hadn't silenced her, the heat of his hand dropping to her knee would have. I don't want you to feel that you don't have any agency here. I might be the one giving all the orders, but you hold all the cards. Your comfort is the only thing that counts right now, and if I overstep, I want you to know that you can tell me so, but that's not happening. Don't think I'm unaware we're at different points in our careers. You can say no. You can say you don't want to see me again. You can tell me to stop coming to the farm when you're working. It's dinner, not a down payment on your time. But I'm in a position to comfortably spoil someone, so when you're with me, I'm spoiling you. End of story. She was a good feminist, she told herself, and she definitely couldn't be bought. But if he had suggested at that moment that he would have appreciated a blowjob, okay, I can't. Oh, dude, this is rot. This is slop rot. Okay, and so here's the context. She's talking to this bull. There's already been erotic scenes of her milking his. She's talking to this bull. So it's just like such slop. It's like catering to all this stuff. So apparently this bull that she met at a working station, he's very progressive. He has very progressive politics. Like, this shit is unbelievable, man. Wow. I'm honestly flabbergasted. Storytelling and world building is excellent. Why morning what?
Next time someone laughs at Morning Glory Milking Farm, they better ask themselves, what are you producing for the machine? And when was the last time you were milked for someone else's profit? This text says, Violet began to breathe hard when the technician released her hands, letting the oiled bob as she to register that thrill directly between her thighs, a tingle that ignited when he repeated the motion. In this text, we see that the tingling sensation in her coochie is actually the tingling sensation of a Marxist revolution. This perpetuates.
Just shut the fuck up. It gets to a truly bad place, a truly graphic, and dude. This is not a small book. This is not like some fringe thing I picked out to make. They're gobbling it up. They're gobbling it up. The author got rich writing books like this. Here's the messed up part, man. So you're like, if you're like a not very successful with women type of guy, an incel type guy now, you're thinking, oh, I'll go for the nerdy girls, right? If there's a nerdy kind of shy girl, that's who I'll talk to. Little do you know, the nerdy girls, they're reading this shit. You think you're getting someone more nice, innocent, pure. No, dude. To call these broads fried would be an understatement. They are roasted, toasted, burnt to a crisp, utterly incinerated. To try and save a girl like this and bring her back to the surface would be to undergo a journey rivaled only by Dante himself to the very deepest infernal regions of hell to find the once innocent girl and pull her back up. Is such a thing even possible? And if it was, would it be worth it? No. Why? It's just the wolf shifter. Cowboy dragons. The bear shifter. Yeah. Dragons, demigod. Why? Why are they like this? But they also get a little bit darker. Okay, here's one of the top dark romance entries on Goodreads. Tess Snow has everything she ever wanted. One more semester before a career in property development, a loving boyfriend, and a future dazzling bright with possibility. For their 2-year anniversary, Brax surprises Tess with a romantic trip to Mexico, sandy beaches, delicious cocktails. With a full heart and looking forward to a passion-filled week, Tess is on top of the world, but lusty paradise is shattered. Kidnapped, drugged, stolen. Tess is forced into a world full of darkness and terror. So you see a lot of dark romance has this masochistic tinge to it. It involves some darker stuff, being sold, used, raped. So what happens is it's going to graphically describe this woman getting abused sexually, but it's not purely for the purpose of being horror. It's erotica. So I equate this kind of stuff to pornography. That's what it is, and I think that is not good. I think it has real-world consequences. It doesn't just stay in this fantasy world where people can enjoy themselves. No. And case in point, the Sinners and Stardust events. Let me read this. This is an Instagram post, someone who's affiliated with the event. All right, y'all. It appears I have to make a post that I'm frankly pretty upset I have to make. This post is for the readers who don't understand consent and boundaries only. A lot of you may know a good friend of mine, Animus. So this guy is like an alt kind of guy, a musician. He's somewhere in these circles, and he attended this event. He's tall, tatted, kind of a pretty boy kind of look. He's not a bad-looking guy. So he ended up going to this event. Little did he know he was walking into a big trap. I don't want to minimize the situation. The guys here, it seems like it actually messed him up. Like, it actually is really not good. So I do want to make fun of it. I'm sorry. That's what I'm going to do. So listen, he's a man, right? But do we think it's okay to put your hands all over him without consent? Or to put your hands in his waistband, down his pants, touch his dick? So he goes to this event. The instant he walked in there, he's getting fondled. Do we think it's okay to quite literally back him into a corner and touch all over him to the point that he literally cannot tell you how many hands are on him and whose are whose? So he walks in there. He's getting swarmed by these chicks like banshees. Do we think it's okay to send him into an actual panic attack? See, this is messed up. I'm sorry, I shouldn't. I feel for the guy. Hope he's alright. Furthermore, do we think it's okay to interrogate him and insist he detail how he'd kidnap a woman, despite him repeatedly saying he wouldn't? And this detail is reciprocated by different tweets, different people. These women are going up to this guy and other guys, and they want to indulge their fantasy, so they're getting him. They're trying to get him to say how he would kidnap a woman. They're trying to get these guys to explain how they would take a woman against her will and use her. Because that's what they're into. And the guy, he's a normal guy. He's saying, I'm going to go to this convention. It's art, it's books. These women are swarming him. They're saying, so what would you want to just take a woman again? They just want to kidnap her. It's unbelievable stuff. This is insane behavior. Truly, they attempt to follow him when he tries to get away. And if that wasn't bad enough, during the time of this mob, him and another author received a notification that an AirTag was tracking him, which showed it on his person all the way to his hotel room. So he couldn't escape. They tried to track him back to his room. It's not funny. So what happened, he tried to escape. He lied about where his hotel room was. He said it was in the same building as the event, but it wasn't. Smart. Unfortunately, there's no escape. They tracked his ass back to his real hotel room. You'd have better luck hiding from Palantir, hiding from Mossad. Cooked, fried, sautéed, preheated in the oven, 400 degrees, left it in there for 3 hours, overcooked, burnt to a crisp. There's no saving. And there's all sorts of wild stories coming from this event. It was just, a group of these people, they're interested in the same thing, they're going together. There was book signings, there was a little dance, a little ball. All sorts of harassment happened at this ball. Apparently a woman was deep-throating a dilly in the lobby, flashing it to people. I mean, it was just a real disaster. I don't know if an event as disastrous as this has happened since September of 2001. You guys know that these books are fiction, right? We enjoy these books because they're fiction. We do not condone these actions in real life. Here's the problem, and here's where I differ. Now, this story is well covered in these circles of the internet. I'm in a different circle. I'm in a different corner of the internet. I'm a chud. You know what I have to say about this? The medium itself is corrupt and bad. You read this, and it fucks up your mind, and your actions become worse. That's what it is. There's no separating it. This Freudian idea of catharsis, where you act out these fantasies in fiction or in a certain way, and then you're able to get it out, right? So you can act like a normal person. I don't think this is not a well-replicated psychological concept. Catharsis is not replicated. What we find with pornography, and I have explained how I'm equating these things, what we find with pornography is people who use pornography hyper-focus on sex. They think about it way more. It's the gooners who are always horny. If you stop gooning, you're actually not horny. So the model which I subscribe to, which I think is more supported by any actual data, is that the more you indulge in these things, the more they take control of you. You're not getting it out of your system, you're getting it in your system. Ever fed, never satisfied. Never fed, ever satisfied. These types of carnal, deeper, darker, sexual inklings, urges, fetishes ought not to be fed, for they will not be satisfied. If they're not fed, they will be satisfied. Actually, they will go away. And this is also the spiritually based way of looking at it, asceticism. It's at the core of every spiritually profound tradition. Ever fed, never satisfied, never fed, ever satisfied. Get it through your head. Get it through your head. There is no, oh, people read these books, it's an innocent thing, it's a fiction, it's fiction. We like them because they're fiction, she says. No, you're creating fucked up neural pathways in your head that need to be satisfied, and your behavior will change, and the more women read this shit, the more fucked up they will be because it's bad. Yeah, you look at this Morning Glory milking farm, oh, it's ridiculous, it's funny. It's funny for a reason. It's shameful. It's ridiculous. And male gooner behavior is shameful too, but I've talked about that enough. And the moral of this video, if you're a woman, I think it would be in your best interest to stay away from this kind of stuff. And if you're a man, especially, it would definitely be in your best interest to stay away from the women who are into this kind of stuff. Just like women should stay away from guys who purchase OnlyFans and are total gooners. That's something they should do. You should stay away from a woman who is deep into, especially this dark romance genre. Now, don't jump. You don't have to jump the gun. If she's reading like A Fault in Our Stars, is that a book? There are some like more wholesome romance books, but do your research, because some what is within these pages in some of these books is enough to ruin a bitch. Stay safe out there, boys. Never goon. And that's to my 5-6% female audience too. I don't care if she's a 10. If I see MGMF or any books of that ilk in her shelf in her bedroom, I'm gone. I'm gone faster than you could say big minotaur hard meat. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you, Gerbert.